for the first time. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our live. This is Sports Talk with Alex and Felix. We're in a different setting today, so just forgive the background setting. Uh, we have our reasons for where we're at right now filming. And so we get into week 11, folks. Week 11. And so just turn the camera here so you can see Alex a little better. And so we've had a coach firing by the New York Giants. Finally, like The Rock would say. They spared their general manager for now. But what's your feelings about the New York Giants letting go of Dable?
Good. For the last time, I believe the last time. Hopefully, this will be a outpoint for the American, for the core, cannot all out. This is a big step in the direction.
Yeah, I would agree to that because I was telling you, my last call would have been the Denver game because that was something that we have not seen in football anywhere on any level of football for a team to literally come back in one quarter in 15 minutes and score 36 points to pull off a victory after beating them on their home turf for almost the entire game. With 5 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock, the defense and the offense couldn't do their job to at least try to contain the lead and at least pull off a victory. It was still a large margin that Denver came back, so we give kudos to Sean Payton and his Denver Broncos, but it should not have happened, especially on a professional level of football. So surprisingly that the owner was willing to let that slide was kind of disappointing to me because even if it was Belichick or any other coach around the league, if I was ownership, he would have been going that day. He wouldn't even been allowed on the airplane. That is embarrassing. You broke a record. You set history once again under your 4-year reign as a head coach. It's just too many times.
Put the top on the out of the. I don't know what is that. The apple, the bark. That's one that. But that was that. The
Probably GM. It was probably GM.
Was the key that coach
and they spared him, and that should not have happened. They should have been willing to part ways after that game and move forward through the rest of the season. The season is another failed season. The Giants organization. So you took a great organization who was one of the founding teams to the NFL and the whole football thing on a professional level. So just literally a disgrace. You set boundaries and records in the negative, not in the positive, since your tenure for a form of leadership. And that's just bad. Now, I've had these conversations before, even a couple of years ago, where I was just talking not even just about the Giants, poor management as an organization, but as a league as a whole and other teams around the league. So to me, to give the best type of football to all fans all the time, whether you're a fan of whatever team fan you are, you deserve for owners to build an establishment and have a great front office, producing a good product. It's good for the sponsors, it's good for the networks, it's great for the fans, and people will spend more. But when you got teams that you ain't even investing in, you want a quick fix. You got some guy you're bringing in, he don't really have a business plan for you because it's still a business. So even though it's a form of entertainment, it's a business. And you ain't producing great product, not good. And then, after the season is over, all the owners do come together, they talk about new rule changes and stuff like that. Then they should be also pointing fingers at the owners that their organization is underperforming because it hurts everybody. And so Did the NFL need to make changes if they want to stay the lead entertainment for Americans as far as on a professional sports level? They need to bring some integrity and some good business sense to the NFL, produce a great product, not just for here in the United States. You guys are trying to go global. Obviously, we got another game coming up tomorrow morning at 9:30, right? Overseas. So you're trying to go global and you're trying to get more. You got to give a good product. And right now, the NFL is failing because there's a bunch of teams that ain't doing well. And this seems to be a consistent theme. And that starts with ownership and leadership before you start putting, that is the players. So that's where it starts first. And then if you're sponsors, you should be pulling your hair out because, again, you're sponsoring that. And you should be like, look, I don't want my name associated with poor performance. So it's all connected. Um, so there we have it. Hopefully, Giants, you guys will make a really smart choice in the next coach. And hopefully that person comes in with a plan and not for next year plan, like promising, oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl next year. Maybe a 5 or 10 year plan to have that organization not just win one division title, but to continue to win in their division like some of these other teams have in the past. Um, it looks like maybe Disney slash ABC slash ESPN reached a deal with YouTube.
Trying to move also that power. I think it agree idea for that.
I think it's huge for Google
Yeah.
if they're able to reach a sound deal, and they just had NFL's been searching for a long time. This isn't new for them. They're trying to find ways how, because obviously they gotta pay networks a lot of money to basically air, you know, their sport. So the fact that they've been searching, hopefully this will be a solid home for the NFL with YouTube, and the fans who paid so much into this will get what they want. It's a shame that it's the same guilty corporate all the time, which is ABC slash ESPN slash Disney. Um, I get it. You got to have these negotiations, these contract deals, but it just seems like it's the same ones every time fighting over this.
Yeah, no, we have also you report. Uh, no, the but that code the new code the he got for couple more weeks because what
Well,
the
he's been
compare.
consistently being checked for concussions, which is it's insane because you're about to cut down this man's young career before it even really gets started. Granted, you're looking for like the Josh Allen type play, but he needs to be more of a quarterback. He has the skill set to be that, and running should only be a portion of his game, not his entire game. Um, and when you start having your players go down due to injuries, that comes down to coaching because that means you're putting your players in the wrong position, and that's cutting down their careers. And we've seen this before with a couple of organizations this year, and we know what I'm talking about there. Players are just going down, and even you started seeing people making memes over teams being in wheelchairs and IVs attached to them because they're just so banged up before the season even gets started. So it starts with these guys taking good care of their bodies, stretching and doing all the things they need, but it also comes from the leadership in the organizations to make sure that they're protecting their players and make sure that the players are healthy and getting through a season. Um, we're going to go ahead and move on to our picks. And so we're going to talk about this first game, which is at 9:30 a.m.
It's a beautiful country of bam. That was it. And not feeding the bear and my army. Face
Uh-huh.
to face. is in over there. That happened is
Who I'm going with?
yeah.
I'm gonna pick man, because I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here. The Commanders, I'm not sure. I know they're trying to figure out everything with Daniel and all that, but right now I'm just gonna go with Miami, even though Miami is not really doing that well either. So I wish both his teams luck being over there, and hopefully they can put on a good performance. But I'm gonna take Miami in this case.
I also going to put my up with that game in the morning. Not just or over to the bill and the button at 4 o'clock. The bill is at home out there is but remember at this time of the year is really good for both of us. How is
I'm gonna go because the Bills have been just unpredictable team in the middle of the season. I don't know what's going on there. Teams that you expect them to beat, they're not beating. Teams that that are tough, they're smashing. And so at this point, even though the Bucks are a solid opponent, I'm going to go with the Bucks here. I think they'll get it done, even if they are playing in Buffalo. Uh, Sometimes they'll pull away a victory here.
well this Buffalo team I don't know what happened. After this team is fought apart after the game away. But I believe we will cut that after Luke is coming up me at least and get the win over the
It's
Bills.
funny.
Over the Buccaneers.
I tried that, right? Because I didn't think they would lose back to back, and then they proved me wrong a few weeks ago, and they ended up doing just that, losing back to back. So and that was right after they lost that game to the Patriots.
Yeah.
They turned around and lost again. So it was like, you know what? I'm not doing it this time. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm going with the Bucks. Um, I'm gonna say New York Giants and the Packers also 1 o'clock game. This is going to be their first game without their head coach. The implement head coach that's in is their offensive coordinator who took over. They're starting, I think, Winston right now. So we're going to see what Winston brings to the table, not Russell Wilson, and see where this takes the Giants. At this point, this is now to get to the finish line of this season for them. And I guess they'll have to, when they get to the draft time, hopefully pick well to continue building a great team. I hope this general manager, I hope this is a wake up call for him.
Well, I guess that you got big partner. I believe the partner will get the Bible out because of the head coach is gone and the quarterback.
I'm also going to agree to that. I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the Packers on that.
We have to look in. They're at what we call looking put at home. Time. How about you?
I'm going to go with the Bears here against the Vikings. We're going to see what's going on. Yes, the Bears beat up on the Giants last week. Again, that was a game the Giants should have won, but Bears came through, which is a sign of toughness to come back in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So,
for me, I go to the up the win. I get for the Bears to win over the I count that win. I believe this game over Glocky will be another game to win over the Bears.
okay. So next up would be Texans and Titans. This is a division rival here. I'm going to go with the Texans here, even though I don't think Strauss is playing. I think he's out.
Yeah, he got me out, but I got Jimmy to take the top 8 up and top team and got win B2 I believe 8 or 2 and no something like that. We had that to and a chapter that and that we put at home and got a to go for the this game
I don't know. We're getting into wait. Let me just clear this up right now. Other than just picks, keep in mind this is a time of season for hardball. This is where his team begins to start going on that that stride, right? So Jacksonville is doing a fantastic job. They've been playing well this year, but they also have some major injuries going on over there. I'm going with the Chargers with this one just because Jacksonville's not technically healthy right now.
I would give me FA. I would FA will get the win over Jacksonville.
Do you think Trevor is going to have a good day? You think he's going to throw a few picks? What do you think Trevor is going to do?
I believe he got the caught that Jacksonville for a couple of picks.
I mean, he's been playing pretty well this season, so we're seeing him play at a much higher level than we have in the past. So.
I was gonna pick the him. He's pretty really good.
Okay, you got Falcons and Panthers, also 1:00 game. That's also division rival, folks. So you got Georgia or North Carolina.
Both two teams are cut them up team.
They're inconsistent, yes.
Panthers at least don't know what happened. Again, that's don't know what happened. So those two teams are a big cut them up team comes down to
stretch
to the put on. But for me, I got to give me cat out of Panthers to lose the game.
All right, so this is where we're gonna go to difference. I'm gonna go with the Falcons here. See if the Falcons can pull.
We have Pittsburgh at the battle. That.
Okay, so you got the Steelers and Bengals going at it. Man, the last time these two squared off, Joe Flacco got the better of So, you know what? I'm gonna say let's go with the Bengals here. Just for the sake of them getting over on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Who you got?
I picked this time I am not going to pick your Falcons at the Bengals.
All right. And then you got your 4:00 games here, folks, and you got 49ers and Cardinals up. Excuse me.
The Cardinals play at home. The Cardinals have problems this year.
Well, they've been having problems consistently out here in Arizona. I'm just going to do something. This is only the second time, folks, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pick the 49ers here. I'm really struggling to pick them for this. But you know what? Right now, I think they have a little less problems than the Cardinals, so I'll take the 49ers here.
Well, the 49ers pop over
yeah, they looked really bad last
year. That bad. But for me, I got the. I believe it's gonna be up there. Give me Cardinals over the 49ers. In my first time picking again.
This year, yes, I know. Okay, so you got Seattle and Rams up, another division rival. So you got the whole division squaring off against each other. Seattle looked fantastic. I'm going with Seattle. They just seem to be Sam Darnold and them seems to be like on fire right now. That offense and defense and special teams is all clicking together.
Well, what both the teams have more outwin at least. They have played against the Cardinals. That game I put out. Graham also the first put out. So for me, I got to that even over the
Okay.
we got Tennessee
and the Broncos.
The Broncos.
Oh, this is gonna be a blockbuster game, folks. Division rival. This is it. This is the game right here. That's gonna this may make this really difficult for the Chiefs to get into the playoffs. So even though we're nowhere near the playoff time now, which is the stretch, which is next month, okay, this might be the game that might actually the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs going to come with everything they have, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and him, to come at the Broncos. But something tells me the Broncos are serious this year about winning this division. and making a change out there in the West. So I'm going to go with Denver here. I think the White Broncos ride in to the sunset with a victory tomorrow.
This I to put up, and we were talking about I put up this week. So I believe it got the cat. Oh, the Bronco, I believe cat.
Now, if you go back a couple of weeks, folks, and watch our films when we did playoff picks, I said the Chiefs, I don't think will make the playoffs this year. I think this will be the first year they do not get in somehow, some way. And you know what made me go set that tone was that game against the Chargers when they lost against them earlier this year. So I think the Broncos put a fork in them and they'll have Thanksgiving early. So next up, you have Ravens Browns versus Browns. That's kind of funny. That's what the Ravens were for people who was born and didn't know that the Ravens before they were actually the Cleveland Browns, and then they moved to Baltimore and renamed themselves the Baltimore Ravens. But who you got here? I'm just going with the Ravens. The Browns is one of those organizations I was referring to besides the Giants, just not doing what's necessary to really keep that franchise healthy and making it worthwhile for those fans.
Baltimore has it, but after the game, I went over Baltimore. I believe Baltimore coming up after a couple more picks. We will talk about that.
Okay. Do Shakur get a start here, or do the Browns continue to hold their player back from getting an opportunity to see what can be done to salvage this season, or they continue letting the guy learn on the job? Which one you think happens this weekend?
Now, and it put the Browns. I don't think we make a pick.
Well, we know they're not making the playoffs at this point, but
we will talk about it.
Again, you're trying to salvage a season. You want to keep seats filled. You don't want season ticket holders.
I believe
everything.
I believe.
Do you start this young man, or do you continue to leave him on the bench and let the season just continue to roll in the wrong direction?
I believe
Another head coach firing? Oh, great, Alex. That's what I was talking about. High five. Well, you weren't calling for it.
Yeah.
Before the season even started, you were talking about him, Miami. You gave a whole New York. You gave a whole laundry list of coaches that you thought was going to get the X's on their eyes.
Almost correct. Almost correct. I believe it.
I'm sorry, Browns. I don't mean to be laughing at you guys.
I believe it's I think that someone would be talking about head coach.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay, football. Yeah, it goes. And you want that.
I wanted that game last year, not last week. Last year.
Yeah, and this thing don't make it. I think you can make it if you can change it there. What then to make it if you can change it there.
Just to get beat up again.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but really, this should have been the matchup we seen in the NFC Championship last year, and the best team should have went on to the Super Bowl last year. But the Commanders came and intervened, and we had. Now we get this matchup. They're not the same two teams they were a year ago. I would have loved to see that matchup with those same players and coaches on both these organizations. But we ain't got that. But we got tomorrow night, prime time. I believe this is going to be the game of the week right here. This is exciting. I cannot wait to see this game. Oh boy. And obviously, I know you're picking your Eagles.
We got to talk about the Eagles and Detroit are not the same team, people. They're called for well. and quick this year. At Detroit will not be gone quick either. So I believe this game is going to be an excellent game across to beat but I maybe
Home field advantage
hopefully it's up to that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be the Eagles over Detroit Hartman Hill.
Oh boy, I hate to make this pick. I really do because I'm excited for both this game. But you know what? I'm gonna say go Birds, go Birds. I believe the Birds will somehow squeak out a victory. I'm hoping there's no controversy in this game. So I hope the officials please don't ruin this game. Please do not ruin this game. This is a game that people were waiting for across the country to see this collision. I think we were heading on this collision course, and it's a shame the NFL didn't package this game up last year the right way so that they could have crossed paths. But this was definitely meant to happen. So we're gonna see.
We're teaching the how by the cone and the little they correct in it to about the have a monthly game.
Okay. You got Monday Night Football. You got Cowboys and Raiders. This used to be pretty much an entertaining game back in the day, and I mean really back in the day. These two franchises have been kind of a flip floppy, depending on what's happening with them. I think the Cowboys would squeeze out a victory against Tom and Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. I would like to see them do something better, but that game against the Chiefs kind of just revealed a lot of things about their organization right now. They're not healthy. There's just not too much going on, and it was a regime change from a year ago. So hopefully, things will be in the
I bet it could be the top of the top of the whatever. Whatever put the team, I believe it could be the top over the. I can remember to put the game out next week we come.
Yes.
Or more.
And that game is the Bills and Texans. Another blockbuster matchup right there between those two teams is what you're going to have on Thursday Night Football. The Texans versus the Bills. Which cattle wins? Is it the buffalo or is it the actual longhorn cattle?
Well, we got if play we come.
I think that's why they're resting him.
Yeah.
I think they want that matchup against Josh Allen.
I believe it's gonna be I believe it will get the win over Buffalo.
I'm gonna go with the Bills Thursday night. I think the Bills get it done. I think they bounce back after this week.
And we forgot to come on something like this week. You get a picky win.
Yes, 27 to 14. Yep.
You get our 2 big wins. And you got 2.
Yeah, they got 2. They caught up to the Giants just that quickly. They're riding the same train, except for one coach had a team that was truly fighting to win every game he possibly could. And he's come with a 5-year plan.
The picture is number 1.
Yeah.
They got a 3. First team. Not a 3. Out of a horrible year.
Yeah, well, look, they what's his face went there from the Titans, and there's still a lot of that program in place from Belichick. And remember, he was a coach who coached under Belichick before. He's very familiar with the organization. He came out of the Patriots. He's familiar with the football scheme there, and this is exactly my point. They had a football program there. If you were coming out of college and you were picked by that organization to be a Patriot, they know what it means to be a Patriot. And when you walk in through those doors at that facility, you are buying into that Kool-Aid 100%. And I'm not saying that the Browns don't do that or the Giants do, because the Giants used to be that. The same thing, with the Steelers and everything. But it's not enough You got to have a coaching staff that's coming to build something for longevity. It's not just a quick fix, put a band-aid on, look good, fill some seats for one season, get your fans hyped, you make it to a playoffs, and then the next season you completely trash team. And then you're not only just the next season you're trash for the next 4 or 5 years. That's not building something. You need a coach that's coming in with a business plan to your organization. He has a vision of where he's willing to lead your organization, and you're going to put leadership in the front office that's going to help him build that, and you're going to give him the time to do it, and the fans are going to understand that, and you're going to invest with good scouters that's going to go get you good talent each time you draft. And that's how you build great product in the NFL. It's simple. But this is why the Patriots are where they are, and it was such a quick turnaround by putting in a new but old face in the organization, and they snapped out of the little dip they took as an organization. So,
Okay, okay, we have to pick up the week. This week,
I picked mine already. I told you.
this week is difficult because you have two,
What?
two, two games that they will each other, and you have technically the Broncos, and you have each other Detroit.
Luckily, we get to see them both tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's gonna be for me. My game of the week is the Broncos and the Broncos and technically that game is gonna be interesting to watch.
I
Yeah.
took his Eagles game in line.
Yeah.
That's the game to me. That might be game of the year. I just
Okay.
can't wait to see the coaching and the plays that's being called. I'm telling you guys, get your popcorn ready for that game because that is going to be a very entertaining game. And it's prime time, which means all the other games are done.
Yeah.
The whole entire country is zoomed in on this game. Oh, it's going to be so juicy.
Okay.
Well, I hope that. I hope that it's that juicy.
We supposed to that every time we will talk about our midway Super Bowl and put our pick. And that I give you what
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Patriots sitting at 9-2 right now, and you got the Bills kind of almost like 2.5 games behind them. And I'm just gonna run these off for you guys because of who's gonna possibly be in the playoffs if we were talking about right now. You got the Steelers leading their division, and then right behind them, the Ravens came storming back. They're now in second place in their division because the Bengals have fallen. And then you have Colts, which is 8-2, but they're at a bye this week. And then Jacksonville sitting at number 2 seed in their division. And then you have the Broncos sitting at 8-2 as well, who is getting ready to play tomorrow, and the Chargers right behind them in second place at 7-3, who's also playing tomorrow. The Chiefs are sitting way down, so they technically will be a wild card at this point in time. But my pick for a team that's probably going to Super Bowl is going to be one of these two horse teams. I think are going to ride into that stadium. I know earlier I picked the Bills and the Lions to be the two teams that end up getting us that matchup. But when I look at what I'm seeing right now, you've got a total different football that's happening right now with these two teams who are leading in the AFC. And then, of course, you have the Patriots sitting at the top at 9-2 right now. So
what is your rag?
So I still have
yes. Number 1 for 4. Who you got?
I'm gonna say I still pick the Colts as that team is gonna be the team to beat. And the reason why I say that is because they already proven they beat the Broncos already. They've beaten I think the Chargers and a lot of the teams on the IFC side. So that is truly the team to beat, even though they have I don't think squared off against the Patriots yet. But that's the team to beat. So I'm sticking with the Colts. And my matchup before was Colts and Bills in the AFC Championship. I think the second team to me doesn't even matter at this point. So I'm picking Colts to the Super Bowl, which has been a while for them. And what about you?
I'll go ahead that you have where we think that we have the people the work out and the code. I believe it will the work out. I believe the work out will high to that football. People. I know move on to
Okay, so NFC side, you have the Eagles clear and free of their entire division. There's such a big gap between them and their opponents in their division. So Eagles sitting at 7-2. Cowboys are sitting in second place, but they're 3-5. And then right behind them is the Commanders, and then the Giants at the very bottom. And the next division over, you have the Lions sitting at 6-2 at the top of the division. Bears tied with them on top of the division. And then you have the Packers sitting in third place in the division, and the Vikings at the bottom. You have the next division, which is the South. You got the Bucks sitting at 6-3 in their division, and then second team in the division is the Panthers at 5-5. And then out west, you got three teams really competing for that division and wild card spot, which is Seattle sitting at the top, Rams at number 2. They're both 7-2, so they're kind of tied in the division. And then you have the 49ers sitting at 6-4. If the playoffs were to start today, obviously the 49ers have a better record than the Panthers and let's say the Cowboys and Commanders. So your teams for the playoffs would be the Bucks, 49ers, Rams, Seattle, Lions, Bears, and then the Eagles. That will be your teams going into the playoffs. I believe that it will come down to a matchup between the Eagles and Lions, was what I said earlier this year, but I picked the Lions getting into the Super Bowl. Looking at things the way they're unfolding right now, the Eagles are defending champs, but the team that I think that we were sleeping on was Seattle. After watching them on prime time and watching them play and execute everything soundly on football, I think they might be the NFC team to actually beat. We have to see because they haven't faced the Eagles and they haven't faced the Lions. So, which are teams that, for the last couple of seasons have been playing sound football. So when they go against them, and if they beat one of those two teams, then we can have that conversation. But right now, I say Eagles defend their title in the Super Bowl versus the Colts.
So for me, I believe it will be that and because in the championship game, I believe that will fly high to the Super Bowl. That cold.
A rematch between the two teams. Oh Lord, I hope not. I hope not. We don't have a Denver and Seattle Super Bowl again. If you guys don't know, they played way back when here in MetLife, which we held our first Super Bowl in that stadium ever in the history of the NFL. So it was a blowout in the first quarter, and the entire game just was not a very good Super Bowl for the NFL. And so it was great for the Seattle fans, but for all the fans globally, that was one of the worst Super Bowls ever. Peyton Manning lost his second Super Bowl. So in that game,
so. It's gonna be Buckaroo at the Buckaroo, why high at the why high. It's kind of
okay. I mean, look, I don't mind that. That's we'll see what happens. But you know what? I mean, I won't mind seeing the Colts and Eagles. Those are two classic. The Colts is a classic franchise that's been around for a while. They've been in several Super Bowls in their franchise history. If they were to go, this would probably be like their 7th time going to the Super Bowl. And if they won, it would be, I think, their 5th Super Bowl trophy. So they're catching up to, the Patriots and the Steelers as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. We got the point of the year. And so the pay would be in the but I will be in the playoff Well, I can't believe he's going to be returned in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's just crazy how fast the
And
season's now picking up.
then 2 weeks we got part of that defense game.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Turkey Day.
Yeah, I we get is what and the will that game is for 2 days ballpark. Maybe I did with that. We feel a reach, not but child
That's right,
people.
folks. So thank you guys.